And believe it is 15 after 10 o'clock, 22 degrees downtown, 1 more degree, and Barbara wins 2 more, and I win today. And believe me, I think we're going to get there too. I really, really do. Got to welcome along everybody on Facebook Live right now that's joining us. If you're going to be watching it a little later on over there on YouTube, you know what to do, right? Yeah, you do actually. Sub thumb bell. Yeah, bell, well, you know, simply because we have important meetings all the time, important videos that we do, and important artists, especially like the one we have today. We've got Dellacoma Rio joining us, coming out of Australia, and believe me, I'm going to nail down exactly where he is, because I was told Melbourne. He's not there. So now we're going to find out where in Australia he is, and believe me, this is 3 years in the making. I am absolutely elated to finally get Dellacoma here at Galaxy. Well, if you don't know about Dellacoma, let me fill you in a little bit. Here's moving on to something new right here at Galaxy. So we've still got a couple of minutes, my bro. I hope that coffee's good.
Cool. Absolutely.
But we are.
Well, you know, I'm sure it's not as good as a barista made one in New Zealand, but it'll do.
Yeah, well, believe me, they don't let me drive the ship drunk either. I have to drink coffee too, so I'm right there with you.
Actually, a true story. A friend of mine. I only tell true stories, by the way. I like to embellish them from time to time, but this one is not so much embellished. A very good friend of mine in Topeka, Kansas. I happened to be there when he was let go from his work, like 6 months away from long service leave. And he came back. I'd just gotten up because we'd been up until the night before. We played, and then we partied on and went to bed about 6 o'clock in the morning. And then I got up about 10 or something, or 11, and he's coming home from work looking very dejected. And I asked him, and he was like, I just got let go from my job. And I said, well, I think it's about time for a shot. And the way he tells the story, I was like half asleep. I just, I wanted him to just talk it out and all that sort of stuff. The way he tells the story, he said, sometimes I just sit there and I think, I cannot get the image of you sitting in your underwear on a kitchen stool with a cup of coffee and a shot of Jägermeister out of my head. And I go, oh, that's right. I did do the double fist that morning, didn't I?
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. I don't know about the underwear, though. You might be one for receiving a pair of Galaxy mankinis.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we'll go down that road then. We will a little later on. Believe me, bro, this is not the rigid 12 questions that every radio station asks you. This is basically, it's impromptu. I take stuff from what you tell me and we create a conversation about it, but primarily it's about the artist, it's about the lyrics, and it's about the music. No ads. No ads, by the way. Maybe a few ID stingers, but no ads. We're not interested in making money. We're interested in you and your music. Okay?
Amazing.
And it's indicative, it really is. At the same time, I've got to let you know, 74 countries are tuned in right now, and 119 cities around the world are all listening to what we're about to do.
That's pretty cool. That's very cool.
And as I said, I'll give you the numbers afterwards. Believe me, you will be surprised. Not bad for a little New Zealand radio station, I suppose.
Whereabouts are you guys located?
We're in between 3 major cities. Have you heard of Tauranga?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Rotorua?
Yep.
Okay, and Whakatane.
I've not heard of that one.
Okay, well, yeah, Whakatane. We're smack in the middle of that, a little place called Kawerau, about 7,000 people in it, but we have a following of up to millions around the world.
Yeah, that's very cool.
And it was primarily economics that brought us here. Let's do this. Now let me run you down this. Believe me, you're gonna absolutely love this. Rick Reynolds on bass, Art Struck on guitar, Matt Cook on drums, and Dellacoma Rio on vocals, and we're absolutely elated after 3 years of trying to get this interview underway. He's here. Dellacoma Rio is with us. Welcome to Galaxy, Dellacoma.
Thank you so much for having me.
It is an absolute pleasure. Now, I got to be honest with you, we don't have too many Australians on the show. We do scour the world, literally. We go around the world looking for the best music. And believe me, it is overdue to have an Australian. So, welcome, especially a kia ora to you, my bro.
Thank you very, very much. I've always had a special place in my heart for New Zealand. I've got several good mates that live there, and I've toured over there. Through doing cruise ships quite a lot. So thank you for having me on board.
Absolute pleasure, and believe me, I've worked with so many different Australian bands and New Zealand bands over in Australia, and toured Australia relentlessly. It's just been absolutely a fun life, not only as a DJ, but as also a front of house engineer and a studio engineer. It's about 40 years there, you know what I mean? So believe me, I've done my road time, I really have. I was also talking to you about NXS. I'm going to talk to you about that a little later on, but yeah, I did some, 36 months with them.
That's pretty impressive, and that would have been a pretty incredible time of your life, I'm sure.
Well, I actually got introduced to them by the band Noiseworks. Are you familiar with them?
I love Noiseworks. John Stevens. Actually, I met John Stevens just at a bar. It happened to be his birthday, and he came and sat down with some friends just one table away from where I was sitting with a friend. And they were there all night, and at one point I got up to go to the loo, and he got up to go to the loo at the same time. And the entire time I'm thinking, man, I'm walking next to John Stevens. I can't say anything. Go to the loo, come back, and we come out at the exact same time. And I just thought, man, I can't not say something. And I just turned to him and I said, mate, I hope you're having a good night. I just want to let you know that I absolutely love your music. And he turned to me and he goes, you're a frontman, aren't you? And I said, yeah, I am. And he goes, what band are you in? And I said, oh, you would have never heard of it. He goes, that doesn't matter. Just always remember your worth.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool.
Yeah, believe me. Well, I went to university with John, and I rescued him once. He was doing a video on I don't know whether you're familiar with the inter-island ferries between North Island and South Island, but he was doing a video on there. The engineer came down with appendicitis, and he rang me up, emergency, can you please make it up here to chat to him? And I'm thinking, okay, we're going to do a little tour around Australia with Noiseworks. He goes, yeah, well, that would be a good idea to start with, but, well, actually, we're doing the front. We're opening for NXS, and you're going to be our engineer. So we did 36 months there, and then suddenly it stopped.
Yeah, it came to a very abrupt halt.
Yeah. Well, there was plenty of safety belts involved, I suppose, if you want to put it like that. Dellacoma, we opened the show with moving on to something new, and believe me, we are really moving on to something new. Tell me about this. Give me a little insight, and let's tell our listening audience all about it. What's the lyrics about?
So I was in a band called Sunset Riot, and out of Sydney, and we did 3 tours of the US, and then the band split up, and I just wasn't ready to be done with music yet, and I spent a lot of time just thinking about what I was going to do, and eventually I decided that I was going to go ahead and just start my own band. And I tried starting a band here in Australia for a while with the idea that we would tour overseas, and it just wasn't working. And so I decided to use some of the contacts that I had overseas from touring with Sunset Riot to start a new project. So I contacted Rick Reynolds and asked him if he'd like to be involved. And he was from Australia, and he moved over to the US. And at the time, he was playing with the guitarist Art Struck and drummer Matt Cook. And so after several auditions of a few different people, ended up settling on that as a lineup. And that song, they'd already written the music, or the majority of the music. They had the riff and the beat and everything. And those lyrics just kind of came out, and I think it was, for me, it was very cathartic to finally have a group that could hit the ground running, because it was quite daunting for me. At that point, I'd only ever been in bands that I'd joined. I'd never started my own band, so it was a big step, and that was I guess my way of talking about that in my own way. But I think from a larger perspective, I think just in general, anytime you strike out on your own and you decide to do something that you really want to do, whether it's starting a band or whether it's, just moving to a new city or doing a new career that you've always wanted to do, I think that sort of concept can resonate with a lot of people.
I get it. I really, really do. And, even moving in with your sister could be put there as well, believe me, I'd move in with your sister. I wouldn't move in with Barbara, though. Yeah, believe me. Anthony Ligori is online right now. Nice to have Anthony Ligori. He is Galaxy's resident Elvis. Tours with a band called the Hammond Brothers, who happen to be Hall of Famers over in the United States.
Wow.
Believe me, very, very famous man in his own right, Anthony. Geir Miranda is joining us. He's the manager of a band coming out of Norway called Viking Queen. Nice to have you guys on board right now. And hello, right on back to Norway. It is nice to have you with us. Now, at the same time, my friend, I do want to give you a fan question. Now, you may see me make funny body gestures every now and again. It's because I have a voice in my head. Well, actually, it's my producer. She talks to me, gives me stats and bits of information, stuff like that. She says to me, Grant, there's a fan question here, and it is basically this, Dellacoma. As a fan, how do we get hold of you? Are you on Facebook? Are you on Twitter? Are you on Instagram? But more importantly, Dellacoma, do you respond?
Yes, I do, as much as I can. You'll just have to be patient sometimes, depending on if I'm on tour. Sometimes it might take a little bit longer. Dellacoma.com is the website, but if you want to interact with me, I do have a personal page on Facebook. It's pretty full friend-wise, so I usually direct people to either the band page on Facebook, which is Dellacoma, or my artist page. So I have a personal artist page. It's just Dellacoma Rio. And then on Instagram, they're combined, and it's just Dellacoma on Instagram. And those are the ones that I'm normally on. If you want to interact with me online, normally Instagram I'm quite active on, and Facebook as well.
Dellacoma, believe me, I usually say no. I don't respond. You're going to get another 5,000 Instagram fans, and you'll be there all day. You'll get no work done, believe me.
I just tell people to be patient. I'm like, just be patient. I will respond. And if I don't, it's not personal. It's just an oversight,
Well, suddenly I'm thinking 3 years. Yeah, it's a little while.
Yeah, maybe it's personal with you guys.
Yeah, exactly. We're Kiwis. Oh, we don't want to know. We don't want to know. Believe me. But at the same time, I've got to ask you, my friend, have you ever been to New Zealand?
I have been in New Zealand, and you know what? It took me far too long to get to your beautiful country. I used to fly Air New Zealand a lot when I would tour the US, so we would always connect through Auckland. But I never actually made it outside of the airport until I started doing cruise ships. So I did a lot of work on cruise ships, singing for the Australian In Excess show. So it would have been 3 summers in a row. We did sort of New Zealand and the South Pacific Islands, and we got to stop at Napier, obviously Auckland, Queenstown. I'm trying to think, Dunedin, Picton, Wellington. And I think that's the only ones that I've done. But I've done all of those several times.
Well, I tell you what, maybe you'd consider coming back again once we get the borders open. But yet again, you're Australian. We got a Trans-Tasman bubbly thing going on.
Absolutely. I'm originally a Tasmanian, so I'm used to your climate, and a massive fan of The Lord of the Rings. Oh, yeah. So I would love to come up there. I've never played any shows on land in New Zealand. I've only played shows just off your coast on the ships.
Well, I tell you what, I would love to be able to get you over here doing some shows, maybe even do some shows in Australia as well, make it something worthwhile. But at the same time, I do have a number of bands that I would like to be able to fit you with. Have you ever heard of AC/DC?
Absolutely, I've heard of AC/DC.
Okay, do you know?
I think. Hang on a minute. Yes.
Yeah. They're the ones with the lightning bolt in there. Well, believe me, I'm good friends with AC/DC. I've been working with them for about 27 years, giving it away now, literally. But Dave Evans, he was the very, very first AC/DC singer. He wants to come and tour here with New Zealand, here in New Zealand as well. Maybe we could fit you guys together. Maybe even former lead singer for Matchbox as well. We got a good friend there. You know what I mean? Maybe a guitarist from Autograph. You know, let's do something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Steve Lynch. He's a very close friend of ours. You know, we could mash it all together and we'll have one hell of a show. What do you reckon?
That would be absolutely amazing. I'm all in.
Nice, I like that, I really do. Terry Van Cannon's joining us right now. Nice to have Terry out of North Carolina, president of the Blues Association too. Dale Cole, again out of North Carolina, joining us right now. Nice to have you guys with us. It is an absolute pleasure, and believe me, I'm in my element right now. It's one of these things where time falls away. Good segue, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Tell me all about
Well
time. Tell me all about Time Falls Away.
That was a riff that Art, the guitarist, had written, and he said that when they were in their previous band, the singer was like, "This is just too weird to sing over." And he played it for me, and I was like, "Yeah, that is pretty weird when you just listen to it in isolation." And it was something that just popped out though, and the lyrics sometimes, I mean. Often when I'm writing, I'll just sit down and see what comes out, and sometimes it's like little bits and pieces that I have to kind of sew together and then figure out what's going on. And this one was it literally just came out. Time Falls Away. That chorus line just came out, and I was like, wow, okay, I'm cool with that. That works really, really well. And it's probably my favorite song on the album if I had to pick one.
Well, I got to be honest with you. I'm absolutely loving this track myself. As I said to you, I'm an engineer as well, doing studio and front of house. It's not often, and I got to be honest, it's not often that I find a band that I absolutely just flip over again and again and again. Now, believe me, I did this 3 years ago. Then I heard new music from you guys. Barbara gave it to me, flipped over it again, and now, would you believe, our audio audience literally is getting involved. Here is Dellacoma at Galaxy, and Time Falls Away. How you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling great.
Cool.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I've still got this image of you on a stool in underwear. I just hope you got some pants on right now.
Well, actually I don't, believe it or not.
Good on ya. I love that. You've even got my producer laughing. That's hard to do.
Love the coffee cup.
I love the coffee cup too, by the way.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. It's I'm just moving because I've just realised that my phone is low on battery, so I'm going to take you off the headset and put on my charging cord.
Sweet as, bro. No worries. Gosh, it's hot in here. We've lost them again.
You really unplugged. Plug in this thing. Tell him my friend did it.
Sorry about that.
No worries, it's all good. You might see somebody called Not Enough friended you. That's our producer here, my voice in my head.
Yeah, cool.
Now, I got to let you know a little story about this, because every time I tell a woman that I'm interviewing that I have a voice in my head, they give me this weird look to start with, right? Yeah, I get that normally anyway, so never mind. But then I say to them that it's my wife. And they sort of smile and go, yeah, sweet, you know. The wife legally is the voice in my head. I get that, right? And I says, yeah, but the bonus is she gets paid to be it. Every woman loves that one. They really, really do. Sean Simpson is joining us. Nice to have you with us, dear. Believe me, I'm really, really fascinated that you join us so much. Thank you. Thank you so much for doing so. It's an absolute pleasure. In the meantime, she's a little dancing coffee thing too. I love that little emoji there.
Oh, because
Oh, because
Dellacoma was having his
Dellacoma's coffee
thing.
cup, of course.
Yes,
Yeah, I
The
get it.
coffee cup.
Right.
Yeah, keep up with the play.
Yeah, yeah.
Parisian.
Yeah, I'm no good in France. I believe me. Usually when I talk to a French lady, I get slapped within minutes. That's how good my French is, literally.
Yeah, well, there's that too.
Yeah, believe me, I had a hell of a time in
Oh, hi,
France.
Dale.
Dale.
Oh, yeah.
Dale Cole is with us. Yes,
Yeah.
I realise that. And no worries, Sean. It's an absolute pleasure to say hi to you. It really is. Believe me, bro, we have people from all around the world watching right now.
Loving this. I love this sort of an opportunity.
Oh, believe me, you will love the numbers at the end of this. You really will. And I'm not going to pull your leg. I will tell you.
I'll have to figure out a way to come over and maybe bust out an acoustic song in studio or something one of these days.
Oh, damn, I dare you to do that. I do.
Oh, there's
Anyway,
no
let's go back to the
restrictions
desk.
anymore. Travel from Aussie to New Zealand.
That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, 23 away from 11 o'clock. It is 20 degrees. Yeah, it's fluctuating right now. I'm kind of worried because I wanted to get to 24. That's my prediction. Barbara's 23. We've already blown the weatherman out of the water anyway. He doesn't know what he's talking about. It is Thursday, May 13th, Black Thursday.
No.
Yeah, let's call it black. Every Thursday, you know, every 13th of the month is a black something anyway. Usually for Black Fridays. Now, having said that, really elated today. I really, really am. And I've got to welcome everybody along that's joining us today. We are joined by Dellacoma Rio, the band Dellacoma. Now, Dellacoma, how long has the band been formed? You formed it yourself, didn't you?
Correct. So I initially, I guess officially, early 2014, put out the first EP, which is, I don't think it's available anywhere anymore. It was called Dead Will Rise, and it had the original version of Change and the original version of Under My Skin, a song called Dead Will Rise, and a cover that I did of an Australian band called Tonk. We put that out, and then I was with the lineup that did South of Everything for 3 years, and then it's been a couple of lineups since then. So it's been, what are we in now, 2021? Man, 7 years. Wow. 7
You know, time just falls away, doesn't it?
Good segue. Absolutely.
I love that, I really do. Now, you got a je ne sais quoi kind of feel for the 70s, early 80s kind of deal. And why did you choose that kind of genre age group?
Well, I felt like Sunset Riot was more, so my previous band was more 80s, sort of straight down the line, more of an 80s feel. And I grew up in the midst of the 90s grunge movement, and some of my favorite bands are in that, from Soundgarden to Stone Temple Pilots in particular. But I've also always loved the flair of the 80s. So like, yeah, early Van Halen, Aerosmith. As I got older, I fell in love with the 70s for its rawness. I mean, thinking like bands like Boston, you know, that first album is just cover to cover, just amazing. Even Black Sabbath, Creedence Clearwater Revival, which I believe you guys play my version of one of their songs.
Oh, yeah.
And again, Aerosmith, like the 70s Aerosmith as opposed to the 80s Aerosmith, you know, are very different. And I think it was just more of a natural progression for me to be a little bit more expansive. And I like to think of my my sound as a mix of the 70s and 90s with a little bit of 80s flair thrown in. But I guess I'm probably not super qualified to say what I sound like since I'm I'm one of the ones brewing.
Well, Dellacoma, let me tell you, and believe me, I've been doing this for a number of years. You've nailed it everywhere. But I am interested in who were your influences. And okay, I get it that you grew up singing as a youngster with your parents and everything like that. I've done my homework as well, believe me. But who seriously did you shape yourself after?
Well, a bit of a left field influence that you may be interested in is Rob Thomas from Matchbox 20. I remember when 1997, I'm dating myself now. Yeah, 1997, I would have been 15. And I remember seeing a black and white photo of their very first tour of Australia. I don't know if the tour was in 97 or 98, but I remember seeing it in 97. And the camera is from above. And I just remember Rob, it was black and white. Rob was looking up at the camera and he had black eyeliner on and black nail polish. And people now kind of think of, you know, Rob Thomas as a pure pop singer. But I remember seeing that photo and the band and thinking, you know, what is this? And listening to that first album. And that first album, while it was quite poppy, there was also a lot of grunge in there. And in a really weird way, that led me into discovering Stone Temple Pilots and Soundgarden and Rage Against the Machine. And Rob became one of my favorite vocalists because of how raw he is. I would say Stone Temple Pilots is definitely up there, Soundgarden, and more modern, I guess, Audio Slave. I absolutely love Audio Slave. Chris Cornell is my favorite vocalist of all time. Rob Thomas, Scott Weiland, Steven Tyler, and I've always had a soft spot for Creedence Clearwater Revival. Just that pure power and pure rawness. I can't get over it. And again, another left field one probably is a big fan of The Used and My Chemical Romance. There's a lot of, if you go, I haven't done it as much in Dellacoma, and it probably will come out at some point, but in Sunset Riot, we had a little bit of cheek to us. We had a song called Mama Said that's literally just a bunch of collection of sayings that your mother might say, you know, like don't pull a dog's tail and brush your teeth and stuff like that. And that came from my love of the cheeky Aerosmith sort of songs, and also The Used as well. There's a bit of, even though they've got some real heavy stuff, there's also some just kind of silly, almost playful lyrics in there.
Believe me, and I'm a big fan of grunge. I was actually in England through the punk era, if you can deal with that, and watched it progress into, you know, grunge and everything like that. And believe me, I met Kurt Cobain. I did, way back in the day. He was alive then, yes. He was. Yeah, my producer goes, oh, he was alive then. Well, yeah, not quite dead yet. I don't know. She was asking me, are you interested in possibly releasing a song for the Van Helsing TV show with maybe vampires?
I would love that. I would absolutely love that. I mean, so that song, that was a fairly short-lived, well, it actually wasn't short-lived, I guess, in the scheme of things, but that was teaming up with Jason Todd, who's the original guitarist of Shinedown, which was a band that I was a big fan of. And he was with the band for 2 years, and we wrote 2 songs during that time, Vampires and Till We All Belong, and we also recorded As Long As I Can See the Light, and those were recorded in Nashville. And that song was very different from the stuff that I'd done prior. So we released it on its own, and that's actually the title track for a film that I'm in. And you can actually see some shots of that movie in the video clip. It's been held up in post-production. I don't use my own scenes because I play the principal bad guy, and I didn't want to be a bad guy in my own film clip. So I used some other people's scenes, but people have often told me that would be a great song for, obviously for a vampire film, you know. But Van Helsing would be amazing.
Yeah, it would be. And I tell you what, right now online we've actually got Anthony Ligori. I was telling you about him as our resident Elvis. He's doing a thing with the Hammond Brothers right now, a TV series over there. A really ghosty kind of deal as well, if you know what I mean. So you never know, he might tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, listen, I've got something and you may be interested in.
I would love that.
You never know. At the same time, a little later on, after we do the interview and everything, we do some photos and, you know, little bits and pieces. But just wondering if you would mind if we forwarded you on to a friend of ours who has a magazine in India, about 8 million people where he's living right. Well, I don't know, actually. It might be getting less and less and less by the day over there. But believe me, I'm sure he knows about everybody almost on first name, but he's got a very successful magazine. We would love to be able to put you in the Galaxy Around the Galaxy column that we have in his magazine. Would you mind if we did that?
I would love that.
Nice, nice. I'll get Barbara to send you all the details and everything like that, if you know what I mean, because believe me, we'll get you the...
That voice in your head.
Yeah,
No,
but no,
no.
Barbara, my co-host, my PA, believe me, everybody needs a Barbara, they really do. And I've got to be honest with you, for a number of years there, I never responded. I asked you the question, do you respond to people that, you know, never responded. In fact, I had Barbara do it for me until it got so bad. She turned up one day and says, here's a phone, do it yourself. And I just put it down and went, nah, I'm too busy. Which is true, I really am. But some days I'm doing about 18 hours a day here at the station, so believe me, it's long days.
You've also got a lot of ear grooming to do as well, so...
Well,
Yeah, oh God, you're on my side. Someone's on
somebody
my
asked
side.
me, what do you feed that thing? I says, female bass players.
Good on you, Dellacoma. Yeah, I've been wanting to...
Yeah, oh, believe me, she's going. You started something with Barbara and
Yeah,
the
okay.
beard trimming thing. She's been wanting to do it for a long time. She has. Just that, well, you know, clippers and yeah. she's a better DJ. Let's put it that way.
Right, there's some clippers in the bottom drawer.
Yeah, believe me, I've seen how your husband turned out.
I don't do his hair. The neighbour
Yeah,
does.
you don't do his hair. Believe me,
No,
you
my
really
neighbour
don't.
does.
And he likes it that way too. Now, vampires right here at Galaxy. Hang in there with me, my friend. It's a cautionary tale. You're right here with Dellacoma live on Galaxy.
Darkness falls, you feel so fine.
You sure you don't need something stronger than a coffee by now?
Wow, I could go and... I've got a little bit of whiskey left over from my birthday scotch.
You might need it, but you've
When
got
was
Kill
his
Your
birth-
Idiots and As Long as the Light.
When was his birthday?
Yeah, when was your birthday?
It was April 14.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
You've still
okay.
got some left. That's
So
pretty good.
it's definitely past the birthday month now.
Oh, well.
But I've been gone for... I went down to Melbourne for like pretty much a couple of days right after my birthday, so I've still got a birthday scotch in there. I got my sister got me a bottle of Johnny Walker Black for my birthday.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant. Love that. But yet again, you see, I'm a Tennessee whiskey kind of guy. I'm a number 7 kind of guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I started off that way, and I progressed into Scotch, and now I appreciate both. Monkey Shoulder, Maker's Mark.
I tell you what, here's something you'll be interested in. Many years ago, I was doing a tour with another band, and we ended up in Nashville. We were just out of Nashville, and we sort of ended up staying there for about 3 months. A little place called Newport, just out of Nashville. And the people we were staying with, they used to disappear late in the afternoon and come back early in the mornings with these jars of clear stuff, right?
Moonshine.
Moonshine, literally. Tried a little bit of it, loved it, loved it, loved it. And I was talking to a lady who is our country queen. We play country here as well. And believe me, 10-time Josie Award winner. And such a successful lady. And she was, I don't know whether you're familiar with the legendary moonshiner called Popcorn Sutton. And he actually ended up committing suicide rather than go to jail. You know what I mean? But believe me, he was legendary. Every moonshiner knows who he is. Anyway, she was commissioned by his wife to do a song about him, and she wasn't happy with it. She released the song, but still wasn't happy. She released yet another song, and we were doing something special with her at the time, and she sent me over a little hip flask.
Ah, nice.
Even signed it, all sorts of things, and believe me, she graffitied the hell out of it. You know what I mean? But in there was this moonshine, and she says to me, we'll have it sometime special. And I thought, yeah, okay, we do a Christmas special coming up to Christmas. We'll get you on that, and we'll have a couple of drinks and stuff like that. All good. Then she won her 10th Josie Award, and we had her on, and I was saying to her, well, you know, I think it's a good time to have one of these. What do you reckon? She goes, yep, okay. And she even sent me a shot glass.
Ah, nice.
And as an Australian, you know what they use for, right? Anyway, I'm pouring it into the shot glass, and she goes, I'll just get the hubby to go and get it out of the freezer. And I went, why the freezer? She goes, oh, it's got to be cold. I went, what? She goes, oh, yeah. So she brings it out, and she's got a mason jar full of it, and she has a little sip, and she goes, just sip it.
Yep.
Now, you being Australian, you'd understand this. I'm a Kiwi. If it's in a shot glass, there ain't no bloody sipping, is there?
Yeah.
Right? You shoot the bloody thing. So I shot it. Damn near blew up. It floored me, literally. I got tore up from the floor up, bro. I'm not kidding. That almost asked me up, and it was straight out of the Appalachian bush. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The real deal stuff. Wow. So I've asked her if she'll send me a case of it. That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM. It is 6 away from 11 o'clock, 20 degrees downtown, heading, well, the weatherman said 14 degrees. Yeah, 24 degrees is the high today, believe me, I own that one. 24, it's going to get there too, it really is. Plenty of day to go. Dale Cole, you speak fluent bourbon. I understand. I get it, I understand. And I can be right there with you too, believe me, bro, I really can. You and Terry Van Cunnin. Yeah, absolutely. Now, in the meantime, my bro, let me just clean this up a little bit. I'm getting a little messy here. I'm a typical Kiwi, I really am. Especially when I'm talking to a good friend coming out of, well, Australia. Which part of Australia are you in? We need to nail this down.
So, I am in Gympie, Queensland, which is it's about almost 2 hours north of Brisbane.
Believe me, it's been a long time since I've been to Gympie. It really, really is. I think we went off to the Eggamoga pub after that. Yeah, that's a long road trip too, I've got to be honest with you. I tell you when the last time we went to the Eggamoga pub was when Silverchair brought out Frog Stomp.
Oh, Silverchair, one of my favourite bands.
I remember hearing them for the very first time in the Eggamoga pub. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, wow.
Believe me. And the weird thing, this is absolutely smack me down with God's hammer, I've got to be honest with you. We were getting drunk at the Dellacoma pub. We were enjoying Silverchair. I went out to the truck that I was driving with, the truck driver that I was driving with, went out there, go and have a cigarette, and lo and behold, it started raining frogs. I'm not kidding you. Something had sucked up all these frogs out of a pond, and just at the right time as I leave the pub to head across the park, the car park to get to the truck, splat everywhere. And it really made a new saying to frog stomp.
Welcome to Queensland.
Yeah, but wow, that was weird. It really was. But, hey, enjoyed it one heck of a time. Now, at the same time, we're going to have to move on, my friend. Tracy Guns with you with the song Kill Your Idiots. You've been to Queenstown. Did you do the bungee jump there?
I did not, but I would love to. I'm a bit of a thrill seeker, and one of these days I definitely will.
Okay, well AJ Hackett is actually a friend of mine that runs that. He introduced the sport to New Zealand, and seeing you're a friend of mine, I'll make sure that he attaches the bungee.
Thank you.
And believe me, I say to everybody all the time, you're not Australian, so don't worry, we'll make sure the bungee's on. Today, we're going to attach the bungee, we are, but we don't want to kill the idiots, do we?
No.
Tell me about this.
So this song, well, the collaboration with Tracy came about purely because I'd met Tracy through the just traveling and touring, and we supported his solo bands in the US in both Colorado and Vegas before he got back together with LA Guns. And this was actually the first song that we wrote for the second album, this and Defiance, off the new record. I wrote with the original lineup of Dellacoma, Art, Matt, and Rick. And so back in 2015 or 2016, we started writing for this record. And then that lineup split in 2017. And it was a song that I felt like was really strong, and I wanted to really put it on this record. And I was thinking about, like, I'd been through a couple of lineups, and we'd hit 2020 where I didn't have a touring lineup, and I thought I needed some sort of a push, I guess, to help get back out there. And so I just reached out to Tracy. I hadn't spoken to him in a while, and I just reached out and I said, hey, would you be interested? And he lives in Denmark now. And he said, yeah, cool, send me through the track, and the rest is history, basically.
Well,
and it felt like it was a good in the climate that we're in, and where the world's at. There's a touch of defiance about it. There's a lot of hope in it as well, and it's the idea, even though the phrase "kill your idols" isn't said anywhere in the song, it's the idea that we often put people out there to save us, but at the end of the day, our choices and our decisions are what's going to improve our lives. And we've got that choice on a daily basis. There's no one on the TV that's going to save us, and there's no one that's on this earth that can really make those choices or decisions for us. So get rid of that notion and start believing.
Well, I got to let you know, Dellacoma, this is your second most requested song here at Galaxy, and it is picking up momentum. It really, really is. Got to congratulate you with that. Kill Your Idiots, right here at Galaxy with Dellacoma. Have you ever had vegan sausages, bro?
I have.
Have you? Are they made of real vegans?
They're made of two, actually. 2 vegans in each sausage.
Oh, I like that. I really do. I was talking to a guy the other day. He says, oh, I'm a vegan. I says, well, if you guys go out on a Friday night to the pub and then suddenly you decide that you're going to go out and have a dust up with each other, do you still call it a beef? Well, I says to him, you get a slap across the face. Is that, a slap in the chops?
Yeah. No, it's See, slap in the chops has a much better ring than a slap in the lettuce head.
Yeah, well, it is, isn't it? And, you know.
Hey, tell them God saved meat, not salad.
Yeah, well, yeah, the audio producer's saying God saved meat, not salad.
Yeah. Well, true.
You know, have you had the COVID virus injections?
I have not.
You haven't? Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that until it's proven, bro. Believe me,
haven't
there's
started
too many
yet.
things going wrong with these things. I mean, what? You've got a Russian one called
Next
Sputnik.
month,
Now, hold on.
on.
What sounds right about that on Earth? Believe me, that sucker can send you into space. Then there's the AstraZeneca. Okay, I get that. Barbara actually has a friend of hers who's a scientist working on that one.
Yeah, right.
Then you've got the Pfizer.
Yeah, is it?
Well, it is,
And then
isn't
you
it?
got Johnson. You got Johnson and Johnson.
Yeah, well, I was
that,
leading
it's
to
just
the
got
J.
sued.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to put baby oil in you.
Sputnik.
How many babies does it take to make a bottle of baby oil?
All of them.
Honestly, gosh. And then they want to, yeah, great, good on you. I'll wait until we get something proven, okay?
See, I mean, look, the reality is, you know, when it comes to injections, I've just seen too many rock stars go, you know, through injections. So I figure, you know, I'm just staying away from the injections. I'd like a few more years of singing. Some of my favorite rock stars have passed away through injections.
Believe me, I spent some time with Keith Richards, so I know about injections. Yeah, my fondest memory of Keith Richards. You want to take the London? He had a road map on his arms, he really did. And then if you got lost, just go to his eyes. You'll find Piccadilly Circus in no time. You really would. Chris is joining us. Nice to have you on board, Chris. And believe me, it is an absolute pleasure because you've joined us at the absolute pinnacle of the show. And believe me, check this out. 7,311 people have requested, well, that many requests anyway, for the next
3
song.
years, though.
This breaks all records here at Galaxy because it's been playing now for over 3 years. Basically, nobody wants it to go away, which is great. I love that. I really, really do. And it is a cover, but it is one of the best covers that I have ever heard of CCR. Now, why did you choose this particular track, Della?
Well, so this song, it was a very happy accident almost. The album it comes from, the original Cosmos Factory. It was an album and a song that I used to play to my daughter to go to sleep, and she just used to love all of that. Well, she still does. All of the CCR that's around that era. And we were in the studio. And we were just planning on recording Vampires Until We All Belong. And there was a baby grand in the studio, and the drummer at the time, Jared Medwin, he was just playing around on the keys while we were waiting for. I can't remember what we were waiting for. And I just started singing along, and because he started playing, he started playing that, and I just started singing along, and I just said to the engineer, I said, "Oh, do you mind just hitting record?" I was like, just for fun, just while I'm warming up. So we did 2 live takes. So it was me in the vocal booth and Jared in the other room. We just did 2 live takes of him playing piano and me doing vocals. And then the engineer was like, "All right, whatever issue they were working on is solved. He's like, all right, let's get back to it. Yeah, cool. I kind of forgot about it. And then he sent through a message, and he said, did you want me to mix that? And I said, oh, just have it. I said, I don't really care. I guess maybe you could do for some bonus material. And he goes, you know, it actually came up pretty good. And I was like, really? He said, yeah. And he sent it through, and I was like, oh, wow, it actually did come up pretty good.
Well, I got to let you know, Dellacoma, that this is your most requested song, and I can't get away from it. It's haunting me. I love that. I really, really do, because for me, it shows longevity here at Galaxy. It really does. So joining us live is Dellacoma Rio, and doing a cover of CCR's As Long As I Can See the Light. So you survived this far?
I have indeed.
Yeah.
Yay.
It's been fairly painless, isn't it? Talking to a Kiwi. I've got to let you know that I've been protesting your government for many, many years because we found out that Tasmania is connected to the continental shelf, which is owned by New Zealand. So we want our taxes back.
Well, who's
Yes, please. Well, then that means that we're brothers. Because, I mean, I grew up in... I wasn't born there, so I'm not required to marry my sister. It's just an option.
You know my wife's there. And they call Tasmania, they got devils there. Right.
Just tell them to keep away from my sister in Melbourne.
Just through the traps, I met a drummer in Melbourne who's originally from Tassie, and a guitarist who's originally from Tassie. So the joke, got them both in the same room, and the joke was we just need to find a bass player so we can call ourselves the Tassie Devils.
There you go. There you go. You mentioned you loved Lord of the Rings. Let me tell you, not only did I go to university with John Stevens, but I also went to university with His Majesty that actually was the producer of Lord of the Rings, Peter. And I can't call him Sir Pete. I can't. You know what I mean? Believe me, if you saw some of his earlier movies, believe me, you would be going, yeah, Grant, I totally understand. But Middle Earth, Hobbiton is about an hour and a half away from this office where we are right now. So when we can get you over here, we'd love to be able to show you around, have a little squizzy at the place.
He can come tomorrow if he wants.
Oh, he can come tomorrow,
He's
yeah,
got
absolutely.
the money to come.
Oh, sweet.
The thing is, though...
I'll start swimming as soon as I get off.
Well, okay, well, I'll send the canoe out to pick you up. But the problem is the staff will have to take you through there because I'm not allowed to go back home. But you remember, you know those security golf carty things that the security guards drive around in? Mm-hmm. Yeah, one apparently ended up in a lake in Rotorua. Don't know how they had.
Allegedly.
Yeah, apparently there was helicopters and everything involved in it.
Yeah,
but the thing, bro, is that, well, the police know me by first name. So we might be up for a little bit of mischief and shenanigans because I love doing that stuff.
He's a good boy.
Bring bail
really.
money.
Okay, everybody's saying bring bail money.
No, he's a good boy, really.
He's a good boy, really.
He is
Yeah,
a
that's
good
what we
boy,
tell
really.
people. I got to turn the mic on to make it work, apparently. I was getting too much into the song, really. Absolutely fantastic song. Terry Van Cannon, really like Dellacoma, great sense of humour, and CCR cover is a killer. Great show. Yeah, you know, bro, as a man of power, and believe me, he is very, very much a man of power, he doesn't really say stuff like that too many times. So believe me, take that pat on the back. And North Carolina, you represent, you do, I tell you. Now, at the same time, my friend, we're going to have to wrap it up from here, but don't go anywhere just yet. We do a couple of more crazy things, you know, photos. We'll send you photos put them on your wallpaper, show your mates, you know, Kiwis, not healthy, don't do it. You know what I mean? All that sort of stuff, but hang in there. But in the meantime, well, check this out. Let's go out with an Australian band. Yeah, here's Mondo Rock.